Hi friends, today we are going to study about the simple linear regression model using R. So with one of the data set advertising. So just a moment. So simple linear regression model with dataset advertising. Okay, so first let me tell you about the problem statement. So problem statement is to build a model which predicts sales based on money spent on different platforms for marketing. So let us see the data. So step 1 is to read the data and understand the data. Step 1, read and understand the data. So I am reading this data. I have a advertising.csv file here. So I will read this. So it is a CSV format file, so I will use the command read.csv, and under quotes I will write the name of that data set, and then I run it. So you see it is now in my global environment, and you see there are 200 observations for variables. So if we view this data, so there is a TV, radio, newspaper and sales. Sales is our target variable, and these three variables are the independent variables. So out of these three we have to select one which is making more impact on sales, okay, which is more correlated with sales. So for that, first of all, whenever we read data, we try to understand the data. So we use the structure function where we see the structure of the data. So strmd, if I run this, so I am getting this structure is the data frame, 200 observations for variables. First variable is the TV, which is numeric. Second is radio, which is also numeric. Newspaper is also numeric, and the sales is also numeric. So we have the four variables, all are numeric. Then what we do, explore the data. Now the second step is to explore the data. Okay. Step 2, explore the data. So here I am using the library site, and I import this library, and there is a function describe which provides 12-point summary of that data set. So we are getting here 12-point summary. Look at here. So this is the variable number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of observations 200 everywhere, there is no missing value. Mean of TV is 147.40 they are spending, and on radio 23.26 on this, and this is the sales. So sales have a different scale. Suppose these are in thousand, so this is in million. Okay, so different scales are there. So standard deviation is there, median is there, trimmed, mean absolute deviation, minimum, maximum, range, maximum minus minimum is given, skewness is given, and cutoffs is given, the standard error is given. So these all 12 point summary you have got here, and because we have to select only one variable, so if you see that if you see the correlation between the variables, it would be better with the target variable. So first of all, I will make a plot MD dollar TV, which is I am taking on x-axis, and on the y-axis I am taking the sales, and I run this. So I am getting this plot. Look at this. As the expenditure on TV increases, the sales also increases. So it is the positively correlated. Similarly, we could see the plots with other independent variables like radio and newspaper. So I would prefer to make peer plots for this. So I am using a peer panels syntax here. Peer dot panels, which is the function of Cyc library. Describe is also the function of Cyc library, and here I am just writing down the dataset name, and I run this. So I will get this correlation of each variable which is with each other. So if you see the TV and radio, this is the correlation 0.05, TV and newspaper is 0.06, and TV and sales is 0.90, the highest correlation of TV with sales. If you see the radio with sales, it is 0.35 only. If you see the newspaper with sales, so it is 0.16. So the TV is more beneficial for us if we have to predict the sales. So we select the TV as an independent variable and we work on that. So this we have. Now third step, step 3 is to search the missing value. So we already know that there is no missing value. In spite of that, I am just showing you the command how we could check the missing values in R and outliers. So for missing value, I will use sum is dot na and the dataset name MD. So you see there is no missing value, there is the 0 output. Or if I want to see the outliers, so outlier I have to make a box plot of each variable. So I make a box plot for MD dollar TV, which we are taking the independent variable. So there is no outliers are there. I also make the box plot with sales, which is our dependent variable, MD dollar sales. So there is also no outliers are there. If there are dots above this horizontal line, then it may be considered as outliers. So next what we have to do, we partition the data now. Step 4, partition the data in trend and test. Okay, so for this I will take one side sheet, so next time whenever I require I will get the same result. So I am taking the 18. You could take any number here, 1 to 9,99,999, whatever you want. So I run this, and then I make a trend data set and sample 1:2 and row, sorry, 1:2 and row of MD, and this is my data. n row we have the n rows, I mean the 200 rows would be there, and out of that I want the proportion of 0.7 into n row MD. So I will get this here. This would be the indexing of our train data. This would be only rows. Okay, rows indexing. This is not the complete data. So I will show you this head of train. So these are the index number. Index starts from 1 in R, but in Python it starts with 0. So the 170 observation it will take first, then 65th observation, then 32 in this way. And then I make a train data set, and here I will use the MD and the square bracket I am taking. So I will take the train, all the rows of train. So whatever the rows we have seen, the 170, 65, in this way we have taken 70% of rows, which are 140 rows. And after comma I am not writing anything, it's blank. It means I require all the columns. Okay, so this I have got. There are, if you see the here now, so 170, 65, 32, these are the index, and these are our columns I have got. So there are 140 entries, and now remaining I use for test data and MD, because the train I have taken this, I have taken in the training data set. So which are not here, which observation are not here, I will use for test data. So I will write the minus train, then comma. Okay, so I will get this. So here we have got this MD underscore train test, MD underscore test. They are the 60 observations. So next step is to train the model. Step 5, train the model. So we have a function LM. We are giving one name to our model. I am giving the fit name to our model. LM is a function, linear model, and here we write first the target variable cells, and then tilde sign I will use, and then predictor, independent variable, and then data is MD, and I run this. If I just run the fit, so I will get this formula and the coefficients and the intercept which we use, because generally if you see what happens, just I explain you that just a moment. We know that cells is equal to, or the y cape is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x. Okay, this is our equation. So cells is equal to whatever the intercept we get plus coefficient of x into x. Okay, coefficient of x into x. So this we will get there. So this coefficient and this, if I write the equation, it would be like this: cells is equal to 6.0 97482, okay, plus 0.5546 into TV. So whatever we have done the expenses on advertising through TV, we will write there that amount. So we will get these sales over here. Okay. So this is our final equation we will get, and we see the summary for statistical inference. So summary of it. So you will see here for statistical inference purpose we are getting here the formula is with this we have written these the residuals. So what residuals, you know that y minus y cap, so that is the minimum residual, first quartile, median, third quartile, and the maximum residual is 5.69. okay, so if you see the range of the residual here, you could see it. And the coefficient, you see our coefficient is positive, and here the coefficient and the intercept is positive, the coefficient is also positive. The p value you see is 21.62 or 29.26, which is very higher side. It means it is greater than 2.58. so at 1% also our model is significant. This variable is significant, intercept is also significant, and TV's variable is also significant. So here you see it is less than 2 into 10 to the power minus 16. So these both are significant towards target variable. Later on we see the residual standard error, which is 2.296. okay, this is the basically we could say that the residual standard error, RMSE. So it is not a root mean square error, it is the before square root we have divided the y minus y cap by n, okay, n minus 1, n minus 2, 198 degrees of freedom. So multiple r squared 0.8122, because we have the two variables, so n minus 2. So multiple r squared is higher side, near to 1, so it's a good model. Adjusted r square is also near about same, and f statistics is also higher side, and we are getting the p value for f statistics is also negligible. It is less than 0.01 or 0.05. so this model is significant, and it is the model, good model. It explains that it is a good model. So we have seen the summary, and next step is to evaluate the model. First we evaluate the model with trained data set, later on with test data set. So step, I think it is the 6th step. And evaluate the model. Trained data set. Okay. So in the trained data set, I want to include one more column. Which is our prediction. So I will write the MD underscore train dollar predicted score. Okay, so I write predicted score. It is a new column. Here I will get the prediction. So it is very simple. We will take the after 2 decimal places only values. So I am using the round function also here. Okay, and in the round function the main function is predict. Okay, and the predict we have to write down the model name, okay, fit, and the new data what you want to use for the prediction. So that is MD underscore train. on the trend data itself we are going to predict it. So, and after decimal I want only 2 decimal places, up to 2 decimal places I want the response, and I run this. So there is no error, and if I show you the MD trend, so it is the predicted score I am getting, it is the actual sales and it is my predicted sales. So it is the Y cap or it is the Y. So the difference of this is called the residuals. Okay, and then what I do, I will show you the we have seen the head or everything we have seen here, so there is no need to use the head function. So later on I will use the new library dplyr for data manipulation. And I import this library. What I do, I will measure the RMSE, root mean square error, the residual error we have got there. So RMSE actually absolute measure, not a relative. R square is a relative measure. So RMSE trend, this is the object name I am giving, and a mean of MD underscore trend okay dollar Y minus Y cap. So Y sales, okay, minus MD underscore trend dollar Y cap. Okay, so I use some space over there so you could better understand, and I am getting out the mean for this, and I use one more bracket because I want the square of this, and then I find out the mean. So for making the square I could use this function, this operator cap, or I could use the double asterisk also, and this I have got the mean of residuals, and then I take the square root of this. So I am using the pipe to function and square root and keep it blank, and I run this and I see what is the RMSE of this. So 2.22 is the RMSE of trend dataset. Now we evaluate with the test dataset. One more thing I would like to show you, one graph. I use the library ggplot2 for visualization, and here I make one plot MD underscore trend dataset 2, and I use the ggplot. Okay, aesthetic I am using on x-axis sales, which is the actual sales we have. On the y-axis I am using predict score. So predicted score I am taking, and then I use geom point, and I run this. So you see we are getting, it is the actual sales, it is the predicted sales, and as the sales, actual sales is increasing, the prediction also is going in the same direction. So these are the positive correlates, so related. So our predictions are good. Now we evaluate with test data. Step 7, I think. Evaluate with test data set. For this we do the same thing, md underscore test. Okay, I am using new column which is predict test. Okay, and if you see, so the same thing, round I am taking, then predict function I will use the model, then new data which is the test data, md underscore test, and after decimal I require only 2 values, and I run this, and I will show in the test data. So it is the predicted test and this is the cells. Okay, so we also find out the RMSE here. So RMSE for test data. So here also you will take the mean of one more I am taking here, the bracket for making the square. So I will take here md dollar, sorry not dollar, underscore test dollar cells minus md underscore test dollar predicted, we use the square of this. So this time I am taking asterisk, and then later on we have used the square root, and I run this. Now I see the RMSE for test. So look at both the RMSE. If you see here in the training data set, where the root mean square error is 2.22, here it is 2.42. There is no much difference in both. So this model is good, it is not overfitted. We will also plot here the same thing. So md test, and I ggplot2 using here. So ggplot aesthetic I am using, x-axis I am using cells, on y-axis I am using predicted test. Okay, and data is our we have taken already data here, md test, and now plus geom underscore point. So look at this, these are our test data. If you see the test data and this, they are the more observations, 140. Here we have 60 observations only. The scatterness is same in the both the observations, you will see here. So it is not overfitted, it is good model. Now we see few assumptions we will check here for the linear regression. First assumption, we already know that there is linear relationship between dependent and independent variable. Second, we draw some plot here. So I will draw a plot for fit model, and I will take the which equal to 1. So I will show you this plot. So it is the plot of the fitted values. Fitted values are the y predicted value, predicted y, and these are the residuals. So this is the y minus y cap, y minus y cap, or this is our y cap. So these the fitted values here, and these the residuals. So here there is some there is some possibility of improvement of this model, because this rate curve you are getting here. So we have to state this curve along with this line on the 0. So we may improve this model little bit. There is a possibility to improve this model. So second, I will use the fit, which equal to 2. So it is the QQ plot. It's explains the normality of our standardized residuals. Okay, so standardized residuals means or this is our theoretical quantiles. So most of the points in the middle of this data you will see lie on this line. So it is normalized, or we could also check this through the histogram normality. So fit and dollar, I will see these are the components. Take the residuals. So this is generally a normal curve, look like a normal curve. It is not much skewed everywhere. So we could see a normality through this also. Then we have another plot, fit, which 3. So here also the fitted values, which is the cap y, and the standardized residuals underscore. So it is the RMAC basically, and the scale location it is showing us. So it will explain about the outliers to us. These are the outliers. This 151 observation, 179 observations are the outliers. These are the outliers it will show. It is very far away from this line. And there is another plot, fit, which 4. So this is the Cook's plot, Cook's distance we are taking here, the observed number, observation numbers. So we are getting here, we have the observations, these are, and these are the few outliers in the output, and it is the y cap outliers. So this we are getting. So in this way we could see the assumptions whether our model is fitting or not. So I will little bit show you. So the first plot, as you have seen here, residuals versus fitted. So where the fitted values on the x-axis and the residuals on the y-axis. So I will explain you here. When we plot the fitted response values as per the model versus the residuals, this is the model fitted values and these the residuals, we clearly observe the variance of the residuals increase with response variable magnitudes. As the response variable magnitude increases, okay, the fitted value increases, the variance also, residual also, the variance of the residuals also increases, as you see here. Also you will see in our figure it is also increasing, as you will see here, one line and one line. So as the fitted value increases, the variance also increases. So therefore the problem does not respect homoscedasticity, and some kind of variable transformation may be needed to improve model quality. And if it is in this way, then there is, I have told you, there is some possibility of improve the model. So we could improve the model. Homoscedasticity is the no, it is related to the so homoscedasticity is the related to the variance. Okay, so variance inflation factor, we see if we have the more variables, then later on we'll see that. Second plot, we have prepared the QQ plot. I will show you here. It is a QQ plot, and you see through the QQ plot, check the assumption of normality. We check this assumption of the data generating process. We can simply plot the histogram and QQ plot to normalize residuals. So this we have also prepared this one. Here I will show you. This is a histogram. Then if you see the next, we have some standardized graph also, which I explained you. This I have already explained. Fitted value in the standardized residual, it is not much important, but this one is the Cook's distance is very important. So I will explain about this. Cook's distance essentially measures the effect of deleting a given observation points with a large Cook's distance. So need to be closely examined the being potential outliers. So it is the outliers. Okay. So it is in this way through the Cook's distance plot. So now one more thing I would like to explain you, how we could save our model. Okay, so this is our step 8, 6, 7 step and 8 step. Save the model to disk. So for this we require the RDS format file. So we will write a command save RDS. Okay, we have the various extensions for saving the machine learning models format. So but here we are using the RDS. So fit, I will write this is our model which I want to save, and I could write any name. So I am writing here advertising underscore simple linear regression model, RDS. The extension is very required to write. So if I run this, I will show you that RDS would be here. Where is this advertising.slr RDS. How we could use this again whenever you want. So you could use anywhere. Suppose we are taking some other script. I want to use this model. So I am using this model as a SLR model. Okay, and this is the name of model I am giving. So read RDS. Okay, and here I will write that model name which is there, ADV advertising underscore SLR with extension RDS. Okay, and I run this. So you will see here SLR model is here. If you see the list of these, the SLR model, we have the coefficient, residuals, effects, rank, and everything is there. Okay, model, everything is there. So I will just show you. I want to predict something. I want to predict predict through this SLR model. We'll just write this, and I could use any data set. So I will use the complete data set, which is the MD for the whole data set. I will get out the output of this. Okay, and because I have not given any name, so output is already, it has given me the output 1 2 3 4. Okay, or if we see the head of this, so I just write here some final prediction, and I will see the head of this. Okay, then I will see the head of cells. So this is our prediction is 22.1, and actually it is 19.73. Oh, prediction is 19.73, actually is 22.1. Prediction is 9.44, it is 10.4, it is 7.92, it is 12.0, it is 15.37, it is 16.5, it is 15.37, then 17.0, 17.9, 7.45, 7.2. So it is near about near the values. Okay, so in this way we could do the prediction through the model. We could save the model, or we could use that model anytime. Okay, whenever you require, you could read it. You don't have to run the whole script, just use that model. Okay, or you could do the prediction. So thanks everyone.